Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tarnation TV's broadcast again this evening here at the Primetime Racing League. Tonight is a cool little event. It's the Primetime Racing League season finale for the Super Speedway Shootout Series. My name is Blaine Donlan, joined by Rod Weston. Rod, how you doing, bud?
Not bad at all, buddy. Not bad at all. Trying to stay warm in this wonderful cold weather. I'm sure it's colder up there where you are.
A little bit.
Two races tonight. That ought to be fun. Talladega and Daytona. So we'll start off at Daytona tonight, and then we go to the Talladega. You guys will like the super speedway racing. You'll like these guys are consummate professionals at these tracks, and these are fun to watch. As you always ask, don't you rather be down there racing? No, I'd rather be right here doing this.
Yeah, this is a little bit more comfortable. I know too that interesting format because we are going to be at two different tracks tonight. So starting at Daytona. I'm missing the 96. Why am I missing the 96?
Have the 96. But the other thing too, though, is unlike what we've usually see in most of the racing nowadays, where we have four drivers going for the championship. That would be Garland Oaks, Ulysses Sandoval, Brian Lovell, and Graham McDonald. I'm glad to see Graham involved in that. I'd like to see him win a championship. But it's not who finishes ahead of who per se. It's all still based on points. So after the first race, we won't know who's ahead of who until we get the official confirmation from Graham McDonald, and then we'll go into the next race. And when it drops, we won't really know because there's points for leading a lap. There's points for leading the most lap. The points leader gets the person that wins the race obviously gets a few more points, and there's also points for the guy who makes the most passes. So it'll be interesting.
We're going to be able to make an educated guess in the second race as to who we think might win. But Graham is super quick on the trigger. He's going to get the statistics to me ASAP after race one. I'll be able to update that stuff on the screen. And the same thing after race two. We can make an educated guess who the champion is, and then he can prove us wrong. So right now on screen, you can see that your four drivers will be watching this evening will be Graham McDonald, Brian Lovell, Garland Oaks, and Ulysses Sandoval. Those four drivers can win tonight, but it's also a two-race event. So, if you don't do too good in the first race, you better do good in the second one.
And the super speedways. So, there's a coin toss right there, too. Although I'm racing with these guys, they, like I said before, they're professionals at this. I mean, I do not know how they do it. It's just they're always side by side, and we really rarely see them make too many mistakes. But as we all know, when one mistake happens up near the front, a lot of people get involved, and that could really shake up the points.
Yeah, I hope that, and there's a lot of guys here tonight. I'm showing 28 drivers are connected to the service this evening, so that's pretty awesome. There's a lot of people here this evening, and it's going to make for some great racing on those two great tracks, Daytona and Talladega. The exact versions of which I cannot remember. But it comes down to file names. I guess it doesn't really matter.
Talladega track is Talladega TR.
Okay.
Daytona is also Daytona TR. And the Talladega, I was wrong on that. It was 2006. Version 3. So that's a new one for me. I don't think I've ever raced on that one.
Oh, okay. It'll be a version of the one that shipped with the game in 2003, but yeah, they'll change the track side graphics, maybe the track textures, and most importantly, the actual data in the track, how gripped up it is, and all that cool stuff, because that's the bread and butter. That's what it is really what affects the track the most. Like, yeah, they look the same, they're built the same, but they all don't run the same because people can change all that behind the scenes, the very boring stuff to make them very unique.
Yeah, and you get some tracks, some of the earlier versions of these super speedways, they were always kind of a bottom-feeding track where everybody wanted to be at the bottom. Then when the Brian Ring project came along, they started moving the groove to the high side. Some of the tracks got a little bit too good on the high side, and then eventually people have still worked on it and they've gotten them better, and we've seen actually Talladega tracks where they run 3 wide all day long. The TR on the Talladega side was always like kind of a middle track. I'm not really sure about the Daytona. I believe that's kind of similar. So you'll probably see more people get taken advantage on the high side. The Talladega 06, you know, that's a new one for me. So we'll have to see where they get their gains, high or low, or maybe even 3 watt.
Nice. Yeah, I know Ulysses watches this thing live. Ulysses, I don't have your car file for some reason. I can't find it. After this race is done, send it to me on Facebook, in the Facebook
buddy,
Messenger, man, and I can get it in there for race number 2.
Of course, tonight too. Tonight they're random qualifying. Now it's a little different how they do it. One week they will qualify, the next week they won't. So I would actually start it kind of near the front on that one, because being in the server, I was up near the front, so I had to. I think it was about maybe 8, little mid-pack, a little close to the front there. But it'll be interesting to see how the drivers that are the better super speedway drivers that are in the back work their way to the front. And it's points too, so you could be further in the back. I'm trying to see. I think that who's on the pole there. Ken.
It looks like Roberts right beside
Alex
Moe.
Alex Moe, yeah. Okay, so that's what I was trying to figure out, who was the pole sitter, to see just kind of where the championship cars. I think our lead championship car right now is Brian Lovell, with Garland Oaks just behind him. Looking down a little further, our other championship drivers. Whoa, Graham McDonald's way near the back of you, man. He's back in 23rd, but I don't think it'll take long for him to catch up.
Did you retire your car? Yes, you did. Of course you did. You're the professional.
Consummate professional. Come on, man.
Oh, I spoke too soon.
Okay, buddy, fired up here. Remember, one
looks like they're gridding up again. It's take 2, everybody.
And we get to do it again.
Yep. And I'll say it out loud. I hope the game doesn't crash.
Oh boy.
Sometimes it's not the old NASCAR race of 2003 season isn't a huge fan of you, restarting grids like that. But we're good. We're watching them roll off right now. Of course, pole position is always the pace car.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the paint schemes out there. Some I don't have. Most of them I do. But that's all right. We'll keep track of it. I do have to pick on Randy Waugh, because we did find out he's always running a Dodge, and he's been running a Ford lately at some of the other series that we've had running there on Tuesday nights, and he's been doing really, really good with the Ford. And then I found out tonight that the Dodge is actually on a Ford chassis, so I have to give him a hard time about that. But we want to say hi to Corey. I know he's going to be out there watching. Hopefully, Dad can get it out there and do well tonight.
Yeah, he's always in the mix, that's for sure. The Waugh-mobile, that 21 Roll Tide, of course.
So one thing I never understand is why these guys like this style of racing. It just isn't. It doesn't fit my style at all.
Don't turn my mic on. You mean the super speedway racing?
Super speedway, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely exciting on TV.
Yeah. It is, and I don't mind watching it. Yeah, I'm a racer, so I like to watch races for the racing and not the accidents. I'm not one of those people that they just go to see all the accidents.
Well, yesterday, Brian Wolf and I called the finale there at the Truck Series, and it was a 66-lap race, and we had our first caution at lap 61.
Very good. That's like the same group of guys.
Yep, 3 or 4 green flag pit stops at Talladega. It was phenomenal racing. So sometimes it's a little bit of a dumpster fire, but when you get into these leagues like that, they lean on super speedways. These guys know what they're doing, so hopefully we're in for another good one tonight.
Anybody that's new to this, watching this, and you've seen it for the first time, you will be amazed at. I'm hoping that these guys show like they normally do. They really put on a good show.
Yeah,
we're green.
Green flag racing, focusing right now on the 43 of Bob Dixon. Right behind him, Garland Oaks. That 67, you can see in the top right of your screen, we got the 2-4, the 4-4, the 6-7, and the 9-6. Those 4 car numbers are the chase drivers. One of those 4 guys will win this thing after 2 races. Tracking points in the middle of the we go from Daytona to Talladega. There'll be a 10-minute intermission in between the 2 races, so we can get updated statistics for you on the screen. So
watching the cars go down the backstretch, they're not even at the full song yet. It takes almost a full lap for these guys to get these things. I say to get that rubber band wound up nice and tight, and then they get it going. And then you'll start seeing guys making moves. You'll figure out which groove is going. You'll see a lot of these guys go from high side to low side. That's the part that always gets me running side by side like this, lap after lap. I don't know if I can just keep my concentration quite that long.
And Daytona's cool. We see a lot of 3-wide racing at Talladega, but that track is a little bit wider. We will definitely see it here, but probably not as much. It can definitely be done.
Oh yeah, and at Talladega you actually see them sometimes even go 4-wide, and you hold your breath and go, this ain't it worked. Wait a minute.
I'm that guy. I'll do it. I don't care.
Yeah, not me.
I know it can happen, so I'm the guy who will bring it 4-wide at Talladega. I wouldn't do it here. It's not wide enough.
We've always said, though, you ask what my strategy would be for this, and I'm going to be the car in the back waiting to the end, and you're the guy that wants to be up front running as hard as you can. And like I said, can't hold my breath that long.
Yeah. So let's see where everybody's hiding. The 24 showing on the stats screen. Graham McDonald is currently running in the 22nd position.
Alex Moe just kind of did my usual thing because, of course, now remember it was random qualifying, so he started on the pole. He actually just dropped down and let everybody go and went to the back of the pack, so he's not going to get caught up in all that.
The 44, Brian Lovell, currently floating along here. It shows him in second. That has changed. He's now in 7th.
He is our lead contender, I believe, right now.
The 67. Garnet Oaks is currently at the line, was in 16th position, right there beside Keith Bynum, one of the guys who runs this league. Keith helped me out the pre-race. I didn't know, like the new RLM arena, you got to get approval from the leagues. They changed everything, so I'm still not able to log into the actual arena software, but at least I've got my profile working.
For about a month and a half, it was not really good for the guys that ran on Race LM, but once they've got it all figured out and dialed in, there's a lot more to it now, and they can do a lot more things. As Keith was telling you earlier, there's some things that he doesn't even understand yet, but he'll figure it out as it goes along. They've
allowed you like a WordPress template almost. You can literally design your own league page completely from scratch, so make it look completely unique. Focus there on Ulysses Sandoval. Sorry, Ulysses, for some reason I don't have your car file. It's the only one I'm missing. He's currently in 22nd place. So leading this race, we'll get back to the front here, Robert Breedlove in the 931.
I'm trying to look at what he's got for a sponsor on there. It's
Firehouse Subs.
It's a Ulysses car. He's in a Toyota, which he always is. It's a white and green car, so I actually have this car, which is strange. I've got that one and you don't. But
yeah, he's usually running Subway or something. But yeah, I have literally in my Men Cup 19 folder, I have about 1,400 car files. So of those 1,400 car files, I'm not even kidding. That one that Ulysses is driving right now, I don't have it. I don't know how that happens.
I think you're seeing that right now. You man's just back there, kind of riding it out a little bit, kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. Then he actually is pretty good at these super speedway tracks. So a lot of times by the end of it, you'll see him right up near the front. Pat McCarskey just hit the apron a little bit, got a little out of shape. But saved it real good, just kind of slowed the two cars down there, Denny Carroll and Bob Dixon. He's pulling off the track.
Something might have happened locally to the Pat McCarskey mobile.
Well, there we go. We did get, actually be a caution. It looked like the 6 there. Two man's involved in that.
These guys will fan out and slow down. We'll see if we can find your replay here.
Brian Rosen kind of got a little out of shape. I don't know if he got hit or how it happened, but he got a little out of shape there. It might have been a bump draft gone bad just a little bit. Got him a little sideways. Some of the cars trying to react to it, I believe.
Yeah, so everybody gave McCarskey some room, and yeah, it looks like Rosen got a little bit wiggly. If that's a professional NASCAR team, when you get wiggly. Everybody sort of checked up, and I mean, you know how close these guys are running.
Wiggly's no fun when you're doing about 190 miles an hour.
No. And that's all it was. It looked like a bump draft, maybe, and they just weren't square on the bumpers when they were doing it. Ross and DePaglia just a little bit off center. Graham McDonald, same sort of deal. That could have been way worse. And
Robert Brieglug has
no real,
been our leader, pretty much.
No
Perry
real
Bond
impact
right
there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was stepping on you there. Yeah, no real hard impacts for any of those cars involved, so everybody should be fine. No. Everybody involved in that one will probably be fine. Mm-hmm. Gotta love Red Bull in their prime colors, man. Red, white, or blue, red, and yellow. I was gonna say, do you expect pit stops from the back half of the pack? But looks like we're getting pit stops from the entire run here. I think they are a 3X league. Oh, Breedlove just got around the 48. That was a tight pit exit there. Yeah, it looks like some of these guys are getting right sides and left sides. Some guys only got, like we can see Alex Moe there is getting full service. And he came in, let me see where he is on the, he came in about 19th, but he'll be coming out in last with full service. But hey, it's early. Did you want to talk to anybody specifically on the track right now? We could abduct somebody for an interview. RJ Cabana, I'm currently focused on RJ. We got John Godfrey out there. Who painted that car, man? I love that Mountain Dew looking thing. That's awesome. Did we lose him?
The paint job on this car.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, he did
a Rodney logo.
job.
I didn't see it.
Might be on the back of the quarter panel on the window side there, but yeah, he painted two of them for me. He does a really good job. Want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Thanks for hosting.
Yeah, man, it's always fun calling these races. And, yeah, I'm looking for the Rodney thing, but yeah, I don't see it. He usually stamps his cars.
Yeah, he usually does. I don't know why he didn't on this one.
Yeah, it's usually right on the front quarter, but you know what? Who cares? We know it's a Rodney. We're going to go with that.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah, man, thanks for joining us up in here in the booth. You got any strategies between these two races tonight? Are you able to hang around for the second race, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to try to hang around for the second one. Strategy, just really try to keep it up front. Track position's a big key, especially how short the race is. Just trying to keep it clean, just respect the championship four guys, you know, but that's really the main goal.
And are you guys running 3X pit frequency?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool.
You're getting, what would you say you get on fuel mileage? About 12, 15 or?
Yeah, it's really short. It's only like probably 12, 15, so I'm pushing them just a lap to the good right now, so topped it off here.
Interesting. Yeah, it'll be cool running a 3X in a shorter run, so just when you get rolling, you got to pit.
Yeah, I'm just doing a lot of clutching, just trying to conserve as much as I can right now.
Awesome. Well, good luck out there, man. Oh, sorry,
Appreciate
Rod.
it.
Rod wants to wrap it up. Go ahead, Rod.
No, I'm just saying, good luck up out there. Give him hell.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Thinking of the 889 RJ Cabana. Randomly, the Tarnation TV, the hook, we just kind of, we got that fishing line. We just chuck it out there on the track and we grab somebody and pull them in the booth.
Oh, yeah. We'll bring some people in a little bit. A little bit by a little bit.
Yep. The Tarnation TV Winnebago does have 3 seats, so we are able to get one guest in here at a time.
Winnebago.
Yeah.
I remember that. The Rodney Sullins Winnebago.
Yeah. We're looking for
That's
an upgrade
good.
in 2025. We've been working on trying to find a building to use, but you know, the buildings ain't cheap.
No.
The YouTube channel's hopping. We gotta pay attention here. So let's see what we got. At the start of the race, we were talking to Allison, asking about the tunes. That's my buddy Jono. His links are in the description below. Of course, he plays in most of the bands we use on here anyway. Rise of Dissension, Godthorn. Those bands are all, Jono's playing bass or guitar in those bands, so that's cool. I always use local music, so check out the links in the descriptions, a full list of the bands we use, and all of them are local bands. And then White Bat Audio at the end, he's a YouTube guy who allows his music to be used royalty-free. So, Fluid Studios is in here. That's Brian Wolf. He helped me out last night. He says great work on the intro. Of course, you know, the intro's awesome. That's actually a typo negative song. So
You're good. I was just reading some of the comments on there. Yeah, but I was just sitting there. It says, Rod, you get those discos closed up okay last night? Yeah, I basically my birthday was yesterday, guys, so I couldn't come and broadcast with, well, I could have, but I don't know how good of a job I would have done because it would have been hard to see the screen. But, you know, we had a good time and it was a lot of fun. We are going to be going green here in a little bit. I'm just kind of looking through the field. There's John Godfrey's up there. He's in the 4th position. Godfrey's usually runs pretty good at these super speedways. Ken Roberts is in the 5th position. That's a beautiful looking live wire car. I'm a big fan of live wires.
yeah, thank you for all the interaction in the YouTube channel. Just had to mute my microphone. The cat broke into the room, and she's a wire eating cat.
One of those, yeah.
So that's why there's a door on the Tarnation TV studios. They could still open it, but obviously when I'm not in here, the door is locked.
Well, we're back to green.
We are.
Robert Breedlove is back out in the front again. Perry Bond is up there in 2nd. He moved to the high side there. He's on the high side, and looks like Ken Roberts is coming down up behind Breedlove. Actually, Perry Bond has got a great push by RJ Cabana. He might be trying to take over the lead on the high side.
This is a great track. Like this is set up really good because these guys are basically side by side the entire time. No line, right? From what I've seen, anyway. We're only 12 laps into this thing. I haven't really seen any line kind of be dominant.
Yeah, they've done a very good job with the TR tracks. Like I said, the only one that I ever saw that was a little better than that was when we did the Talladeggers Nights Super Speedway series on Sundays there. That track just seemed to be equal all the way around.
Oh,
We've
no.
got a big one. Greg Lovell up on his roof. Another car up over.
Wow. Yeah, we had some cars definitely airborne on that one.
Alex Moe's involved.
Keith Bynum. Pat McCarskey is
Rand
wrecked.
McDonald's in there.
Greg
I don't know how
Palmer.
bad he got hurt. Yeah, U-Man was involved. Greg Palmer. Brian Rosen.
Yeah. It looked like the 8 was the one that got upside down first.
First, yeah. I don't know. It looked almost kind of like a bump gone wrong.
See if we can find it here. Focused on the 22 of Palmer. Okay, yeah. So we'll get on the 8 and we'll get a helicopter view to find out, see who to blame. And we're gonna blame Ken Huntsbury because he got in the way of the 8. No, again, it looked similar to what happened last time where it was a bump. It looked like it was going to be a bump draft, but it just wasn't square enough.
Wow, we had got some cars.
Around.
Alex Moe went for a crazy ride.
Yeah.
The car is trashed.
Alex Moe. Yeah, let's see if we can find him in here. Alex Moe disappeared. What happened? Oh, that's weird. His car lagged out a little bit because he actually disappeared. I was just locked onto him, and then when he came back, he actually came back inside of another car.
From my point of view, on
Pat McCarsky, that's why Pat's so wrecked.
From my point of view with Alex Moe is he was driving a race car and then he decided to become a pilot.
Yeah.
But he didn't have his pilot's license, so he was forced to land very hardly.
Yeah,
very hard.
Yeah, that's a shame for Pat. Looks like Pat McCarsky has had a piston. So an engine failure there. On my screen, I showed Mo disappear for a good 5 seconds. And then when he returned to the track, due to probably an internet connection issue, it was directly inside the 97 of Pat McCarsky, and then that's when they went airborne, unfortunately.
And we do have a new leader currently right now. Perry Bond has got himself out in front. He was running the high side and getting a really good run on that high side, especially with the help from RJ Cabana. So, it just happened to be he was in the lead when the caution fell. So far, I see that the 44 of Brian Level is the lead car in the championship so far, but as we said before, it's a points system, not whoever's in the lead. But obviously, nobody has led a lap that's in the championship. So as of current, he would be the guy right now that is, unless they did under caution. I didn't see that when we had that first caution. So it'd be interesting to see if somebody stayed out and tried to lead a lap.
Yeah, and Graham has the points algorithm set up. So when this race is done, he will compile those points, send them to me, and I will update them. Because currently, this is what they look like. You can see the top 4 cars coming into this race all have 3,000 points apiece because this is the round 3 of the knockout round. So they're all even Steven. So you can see how it all fell last week. In the YouTube chat, Packerstown, which is Alex Moe, says all the cars disappeared on my screen and then the wreck happened and then reappeared inside the 27.
So none of our championship contenders have led a lap. So right now, currently, Robert Breedlove has led 11 laps, and Perry Vaughn is going to come in right now and lead his 4th lap. So we haven't had any of the championship cars able to get up there into the front and lead a lap.
That could be a big deal. I mean, it might even be worth gambling on a hoping for a yellow kind of thing, just to kind of stay out, lead that one, just to get it, you know?
I would think so, too, just because we're at the track. But one thing we haven't really seen, like we usually see, like on the Talladega Super Speedway, mind you, is we're not seeing a lot of passing. We're seeing some, but we're not seeing it like they do at the Talladega track. And I'm sure once we switch from this track and go over to Talladega, you'll see that there'll be a lot more passing. And a lot of that has to do with the width of this track. There's not a lot of room to just get around. When you're running side by side, there's no place to go. If your line doesn't go, you don't go.
That's the thing, yeah. You really got to be in that. I mean, and a lot of qualifying really does have. It's a big deal.
Effect.
A short race too, Doug,
it's like the Mega
23.
Marathon.
Yeah.
Mega marathon races that we did, that you and I have raced in and televised somewhat. Very, very, very short races. And when you're doing a 10-lap race and you random qualifying and you're shotgun on the field, it's really, really hard to make up a lot of positions. Plus, like I said before, it's about a lap, almost a lap, complete lap to really up the full song. And then it's a drafting track where you're literally not going to pull out and pass somebody unless you have help. So that every time you have a caution, that takes away, a few more laps, a few more opportunities to be able to get to the front.
All your momentum is instantaneously just gone. Yep. Nothing left in the sails, and you got to wait a couple laps, and then lights are off now on the pace car. Focusing on the front row here, Robert Breedlove and Perry Bond, with Cabana and Roberts in the second row.
I think too, we're only about 13 laps away from the finish of this race, and I do believe with 10 less laps to go, then they start racing back. But you're running out of time if you're in the back of the pack to try to get near the front.
And remember, the fuel window being 12 to 15.
Yep.
That's tight.
And we didn't pay attention to that earlier, but I bet you all of the guys in the back had pitted on the very last chance so that they can probably go. Where the guys up front, they're here to win a race. They're figuring out we'll probably have another caution. Well, I hope we don't, but it could happen, and that's what they're banking on. The guys that are in the points that are in the back, they'll pit, get more fuel, and try to see if they can maybe make it to the end of the race where everybody else can't and get the maximum points.
Yeah, just focus on the back of the pack here now. The number 8 of Greg Lovell was involved in that wreck. So is Brian Rawson, Greg Palmer, Keith Bynum. Garland Oakes is there too. Graham McDonald is back there. There's Gary Heiser, Bob Dixon, Ulysses Sandoval, Doug Hewler, Javier Negron. So Brian Lovell in 10th in the 44 is the highest of the. Yeah, he's one of the championship guys, and he's the highest up there right now in the 10th position. Everybody else is behind him.
And he's been up there. He's been the lead championship contender all night on this thus far. And the next question, you think, well, U-Man was involved in that last wreck. So was Graham McDonald. It's moderate damage, but I do believe they may have no damage. That I do not know. I don't want to assume that I do know, but if they do have no damage, then they'll be okay. But if they have moderate damage, there's a potential chance that they could have just enough damage to slow them down. Danny Carroll made a move from the bottom to the high side. You see, he knows where all that momentum is. He's going to go up there and see if he can't get a run past the low side of the track.
Greg Lovell went around in the back there, but he was the last car in line, so the yellow flag will not come out. It's green flag conditions. Focus on
had the lead, but the high side's got the momentum coming. He dropped down, and once he did, the high side just rolled right on around him.
Yeah, and there's some gaps in that bottom line, so that it's not. I mean, some gaps in that top line too, but there's more cars.
That's the big thing too, like you said, the gaps. You really need to be running really tight and right to the back of the car in front of you. You don't necessarily have to push, but some guys that are good at doing that can actually gain a lot more. They're basically, the car in front of them is braking the air, so they actually move faster. So they get to the rear bumper of that car and give it a little bit of push and help them along, and that makes them go even quicker.
And Perry is not giving up the middle of that track. He is riding right on those guys to keep that middle line, which would be the faster line around here. He's doing a good job at staying where he needs to be. Because right on the yellow line, you're going to lose a little bit of speed, I would think, coming out of those turns.
You will, but like I said, nobody wants to run the bottom. It's like the TR tracks are kind of a middle track. Although, Denny Carroll is making it work slowly but surely on the third groove. With Randy Waugh right behind him now, those two guys are some of my Megathon teammates, and they run good. They run really well together. So
10 laps to go here. 3 cars have retired. Pat McCarskey, engine failure. Alex Moe, accident. John Godfrey, retired.
Hopefully they'll be back for the second race.
Yeah, Denny Carroll there in that 41 in the high line, trying to get that thing moving. Moving back here, the middle of the pack, Mac Paglia's got a gap behind him. Ken Hunsbury trying to find a way to latch onto that 28. But I think that 66 took a little bit of damage, that New York Yankees ride there from Hunsbury.
But, you think about it, if you've ever raced at Daytona and Talladega, you've always run side by side. How many times do you see them running side by side in the top two grooves and nobody's running the bottom?
That is, again,
that just gives you an idea of how the talent these guys have. They don't even want to run down there.
No.
Denny Carroll's lost a little bit of ground. It's not because it's not working up there. You look at, he's only got 3 cars in a line, and there's about 8 cars in that middle groove. They're going to go faster.
Yep. And that's the thing, that the low line's the shortest distance around the track, but it's never always going to be the fastest.
There, we talked about it earlier, depending on the version of the track. If you got onto the very original Daytona that came with the games, everybody be right around that yellow line and nobody would be coming off it. Now, one thing you might see when we get down to about 5, maybe less, you might see some of the lead cars drop down to that bottom lane, only just to defend a little bit. But as you can see, it's kind of like, the old Dale Earnhardt Jr. days, the Pied Piper's leading the pack and he's running the top, you're going to follow.
Yep. Does anybody make a move here? I mean, the 44 looks like he's moving down to that bottom line now. He is one of those championship contenders.
Just kind of glancing back to see who else is fighting for the championship on the high groove that could maybe overtake him.
Graham is there. He's in the rearview mirror of the 44.
They're starting to run down the injured car of Greg Lovell there.
Yep.
He goes to the high side and gives him all the room that he needs. And
everybody got by him clean.
You see Brian Lovell just pull back up to that upper groove. He realized, trying to make that move was a smart move. He was, you're not going to go forward if you're falling in line. But he went down there, tried it, didn't work, and he realized that he needed to get back up that upper groove so that the guys that he's contending with for the championship are not going to, use that high groove to get by him.
That's interesting too, because Graham is the closest to him, but Ulysses is actually right beside him. So those guys are fighting for position, even though they're back here in about 14, 15 spot. And Garland Oaks is right behind them. So these 3 guys, the 96, the 24, and the 67, they want to get the most points. So Ulysses is going to want to keep those guys behind him because they're probably not going to be able to catch Brian.
Even though, Brian could go out and win this race and them guys probably finish in the back, and that doesn't guarantee him a championship. He's got to run smart, and they always got to run smart, but they've got to run as fast as they can. They got to try to beat each other. Now, does Brian need to go out and win this thing? No. He's just got to beat everybody on this race that he's in the contending with the championship for, and then when we get to the second race, he's got to do it again.
Right, and look at how close those guys are. Holy moly, we're just watching Breedlove and Roberts pushing each other. It's crazy how close they are. But that's the thing too, because they do drive this thing on points, the farther ahead Brian can finish in front of those other 3 guys, the more points he's going to get. So that's a neat way of doing it, especially when you're running 2 races in a night. Sure, he finished in front of those guys, but if he finishes 2 cars in front or 10 cars in front, you definitely want to be 10 cars in front. The more the merrier, the more points.
And the other thing that we haven't talked about, what we usually do talk about on these points nights, is teammates. There are people out there that with these guys, and I don't know if they do it so much over here at Primetime Racing. I do remember at Talladega Nights, they had got to the point where there was just a lot of teams, and teams would work out. We did that on the it was the Sunday night series where we did the truck series. We knew that there was 4 or 5 drivers that were working with one of the drivers, and for the championship. So some of these guys out here, they're not in the championship, but they're out there to help their friends, their teammates, or what have you, to try to get them into the championship. So we even really looked into who's what where. I know Brian Lovell probably had Greg Level was out there to help him. Denny Carroll might be, they've often raced together, then teams together. There was a couple of people that would be, teammates. We do know what Rodney Sellens and Ken Walters, and I think it was Greg Palmer was working with RJ Cabana. I believe it was RJ in the truck series when he did that.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out some of the people that are there to help other ones. We don't really have all that information right now.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of the familiar faces from yesterday are here, but then there's, a whole crop of new guys as well. So it's always a neat mix. It's the same league, but then certain drivers aren't able to race on certain nights. Now we're getting down to 2 laps to go here, and we've got some lap traffic at the mix here. Brian Rawson, he won't get in the way, but it's always interesting to see what can happen.
Brian is one. He has not had a very good night tonight. He's been involved in a couple of the incidents. Not all of his making either. Just that's the part that I hate about racing with these is sometimes it's out of your control.
Yeah. Brian Level last time by the stripe, 8th position. The next closest car in the contention for the championship would be Ulysses in 12th.
Garland Oaks, there goes Greg Palmer spinning around. Garland Oaks is also one of the guys in the championship hunt, and he is, we got another little mix up in front.
Yep.
Brian Level made it through. He is going to hit the wall. Garland Oaks is underneath him. They are racing back right now for the end of the race. Garland Oaks and Brian Level side by side. Now Brian's got the advantage on him right now. That was close for the two guys that were right there in hunt for the championship between Brian Level and Garland Oaks. They were almost involved in that.
Sellens right behind Ken Roberts. Robert Breedlove fell back from the lead to 3rd. And that's going to be it. 55-38, 90, or 931.
Ken Roberts is our winner for the first round. And Brian Level is out of the championship hopefuls, finished the furthest up with Garland Oaks right behind him. So those two guys had a really good points night. And I believe, I got to look for a second here, but he was in 8th. So the 3 of the championship contenders finished 6th, 7th, and 8th. So there's not a lot of advantage that Brian Level has going into the next race.
I've already put the flag in his hands. I don't believe they still have to cross the line. Hopefully I didn't jinx this.
Then, of course, Graham McDonald, he finished down in 13th. So out of the championship contenders, he's probably one of the, he's the lower finisher out of them. Don't count him out. The next, he was one of the drivers that got caught up in that wreck earlier too. So he'll be back in the next race, hopefully stronger. And, I'm hoping he wins the championship. I'm supposed to be biased, I know, but I'd like to see Graham win it. I like Garland Oaks. I like Brian Level. I mean, I like E-Man. I love them all, man. They're fun to race with. They're a great group of guys. But if I had to pick one out of the 4, I'd just like to see Graham McDonald get it.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But we could also blame it on that he runs the league and he rigged it.
Well, yeah, but then, I know why you like because he's a fellow Canadian.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Now Ken's going to take the checkered flag, so now I can put the checkered flag in Ken's hands. So wouldn't that be horrible if he had like a modem failure on that final lap and I had the checkered flag?
We'll let him accelerate just a little bit, and we'll drag a headset down here and get it hooked up on him and get a chance as everybody's scratching the paint. He's got to race that car again. Now they got to scratch off some of the rubber from people. New man come up and give him a little nudge.
It's like a fresh car, and then we're just going to destroy it.
Yeah. We got a few minutes here. I'm going to see if we can grab him and get a headset on him and get a little bit of an interview while you work on that other stuff.
Yep. Let's see what we can do.
Ken Roberts, Rod Weston up in the booth, buddy. You got her done on the first one. Uh-oh.
He sold his microphone.
Ken.
Yeah, go ahead.
There you go. You got it done in the first race. Yeah, it kind of ran out about there in the middle not middle, but kind of middle front, and a little bit of last lap pass there when the yellow flag come out, and you, with a little help from Rodney Sullins, you got her done.
Yeah, it was a fun race. Running behind Breedlove there, and we got the caution. I said, well, I'll take a poke at him. If I can get by him, I'll go ahead. But if he blocks me, he blocks me, you know. But yeah, it was a fun race there. Good time.
I love the paint scheme. That's probably a Rodney Sullins paint scheme.
Yeah, actually, it's the first night I had it on the track, so I think maybe that's a good omen. If you pull out a win the first time pulling a new paint out, he does a hell of a job on them cars, man. I'm telling you, I don't know how he does it, but they're really, really sharp.
I'm a big fan of the live wire, so I kind of like that car. When I saw you post it up on Facebook, I'm like, that is very sweet.
Yeah, I've always liked the Mountain Dew. You know, Mountain Dew's always had some pretty cool colors and schemes and stuff. So, yeah, pretty cool car.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get everything squared away here. We're gonna, give you a little chance to thanks people and whatnot. A great job on the first race. Unfortunately, you weren't in the championship, but I do have one question. Are you out there to help anybody else in the championship? Because I've known you guys, you, Greg Palmer, and the few other guys who always got together usually and tried to help somebody win. Are you got any of the guys that are in the championship that you would like to see win and help out if you could?
Really just gonna play it by ear. Not really anybody in particular. I mean, just if one of them happens to be in front of me, then that'll be who I push.
There you go. All right. Well, if you want to, you want to thank anybody, I'll give you the floor. Let you thank your sponsors, thank your painter and whatnot, and tell everybody, a little bit about what's going on with you.
10-4. First off, happy belated birthday. Hope you enjoyed your day yesterday.
Great day, dude.
Just like to thank, my teammates, the BSR guys, Graham and Keith for putting this stuff on over at Prime. I really love this Saturday night format with the two different tracks. It's pretty cool. Appreciate you guys doing the broadcast. Blaine does an amazing job. Him and Brian did a great job last night, and can't wait to watch this one tonight. So I think that's about it. So I think we'll go off to the next one and see what happens.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win. Hopefully, maybe you snicker them out and get two of them tonight, buddy.
That'd be nice. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Congratulations.
Thanks, Blaine.
Working behind the scenes here with Graham. Race number 2 will start momentarily.
I'm working on the track. For some reason, I don't have it. I downloaded it, but it's not there.
I had the same issue. That's why I was testing everything about an hour before the race time. Like, I don't have these tracks. I do. I probably moved them out into a Primetime Racing League folder and then forgot to put them back in.
I had it in here, but I'm going to see if it works.
All right. We have updated the points.
Ken snookered him out of that one for sure. He ran right, and he was running near the front most of the day. And he said he just pulled out and let him. He was going to sneak in there and see if he could win it, and he managed to do that with a little help from Rodney Sullins pushing.
Let's see if I can make this work here. We've got updated points coming in from league administration offices. This high-tech process, what we're doing right now. Get you the updated points on the top 10 people. Of course, we're watching the guys at the top of the list here because it is super close. Because the way that these guys track points is very tight. They don't use the same. There we go. That should work. Let's hit this key. There it is. Updated points as of race number 1, which we just watched. Brian Lovell is now in first.
You figured he would be.
So he went, it was McDonald, Ulysses, Lovell, and Oaks. They all come into this race even. So, of course, Brian goes to the top with his finish in race number 1. Headed into race number 2. These guys run a pretty tight points setup because I remember them being about it's 1 point per position, I think, because I could tell from this with Brian having 3,031, Oaks having 3,030, Ulysses Sandoval 3,029, and Graham McDonald with 3,024. Very, very close. Every position counts, obviously, but they are only separated by 1 point, I do believe. That's what we were saying last night when Brian and I were talking about how every league is uniquely different. Like, even if you ran the same league, even if you ran the same style of a league, it wouldn't be exactly the same as another league because the points would be different. The way that they handle black flags would be different. The way they do waiver rounds would be different. Lucky dogs, some leagues take 1, some leagues take 2, some leagues don't do it. It's no 2 leagues are exactly the same. And all these leagues, some of them will even charge you to join them. Like $5 for a month or something. I mean, because maybe they're paying broadcasters or whatever they're doing. It's a great community to be a part of, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Also have leagues that they do single file starts, double file restarts. I mean, there are variations of different ways.
Yeah. Everything's different, than the mods and of course the tracks they use. Like you could use Talladega every day, but there's so many different versions of every track. And any new track that they race on, like the LA Coliseum, somebody made it. It's in this game. But then who says you just download that track and use it? Maybe you do what they did to Talladega. You download that track, you use it, you don't like it, you can change the data inside the track and make it grip different. Maybe you gear the cars different in your fixed setups. You can control what everybody's driving. So maybe there's more grip tape, less grip tape, different gear ratios, less tire pressure. Maybe a league runs with the weather turned off, where it's 70 degrees Celsius, or Fahrenheit, sorry. If it was 70 degrees Celsius, we got a problem. If it was 70 degrees Fahrenheit and no wind, well, maybe there's a league that likes to put 5 miles of wind coming out of the northeast. That's an option too. Everybody forgets about that stuff. If you cranked up the wind speed and had it blowing out of the south, you'd be flying down the back straightaway on some tracks, gaining, going 20 mile an hour faster because you've got a tailwind. And then you come around the front straightaway and you can't get that same speed because now it's pushing the car in the wrong direction. The game came out in 2023, but that stuff exists. Somebody should have a league called, the Tornado League and just have wind cranked up.
I've seen some that do some crazy stuff like that, like you said, with the weather and stuff. But you got open setup leagues, you got fixed setup leagues, and like you were saying, different leagues do different things. Well, some leagues have a fixed setup that's a little tighter, some that are a little looser, some that are just whatever. But I seem to be having a little bit of trouble getting this track to load up, so I'll give me a minute.
The Primetime SS.
That's not what we're running, is it?
Yes.
That's not what they got posted. That's why. So I know I have that, and I'll get it right in there right now.
Yeah, we're at Primetime. I thought this was going to be Talladega version something or other because that's the link that they have in the TeamSpeak, but it just loaded up and it's Primetime. We've got the red, white, and blue striped walls.
Okay, I know why I don't have it then.
There you go. There's 2 minutes left in practice, so you got tons of time, buddy. No pressure. Thanks again to everybody for watching and interacting on the YouTube channel here. Denny Carroll's on the YouTube channel, chatting. Saw that wreck from yesterday. So frustrating, and some of these guys causing these wrecks are doing stuff they learned not to do the first week they had the sim. It's pitiful. Denny, not a fan. That's the thing, though. That's the thing with this sim. It being a sim, I've done silly stuff. I've played this thing ever since it came out. And sometimes I'll do something and go, why did I do that? But in the moment, you just kind of do something sometimes and hope that maybe it'll work. Because sometimes this stupid stuff works,
But You say you played it from the beginning. What is the first version of this that you played? 2003?
NASCAR 4.
Okay, 4. I started in 1.
Oh yeah.
And I had 2.
Well, technically, are we talking Papyrus games?
Yes.
Okay, IndyCar Racing, 1993.
So I started in 1. Now, what's
I still
funny?
have the game box. Check this out. I can't show you anything. Why am I turning around to grab it off the shelf?
But the thing of it is what's really, really funny is I remember racing at Bristol. Okay, in NASCAR 1. You would come off the corner and you would see the next car that you're going to pass going into the corner in front of you, and it was a dot.
Right.
Couldn't tell who it was. It
Just
was
a square,
dot.
like a black dot or a red dot.
Black
so
dot.
You might know the color of the car. Yeah.
Maybe. And now you can see everything. It's just that this game has came so far. Unfortunately, in 2002 when it was released, but yes, it is a 2003 game. Papyrus got bought out by, or I should say, NASCAR licensing got bought out by EA Sports, and they no longer could make the game. And now that this game is iRacing, so anybody that's ever seen iRacing would understand.
Yeah, I was trying to find trying to find the date on the IndyCar Racing box. I'm pretty sure it's 93, 94, but that's not a NASCAR game. I do have NASCAR 4, and then I went to NASCAR 2003.
Papyrus put out one that was NASCAR 1999.
Right.
And then it was only the Cup Series, and then you could buy an add-on pack that gave you the truck and the Busch Series.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, see, I got into the NASCAR stuff. I have NASCAR 4, and then I went to NASCAR 2003.
Yeah, so
and it's been like that ever since, and it'll never change.
I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 99, IndyCar, Grand Prix Legends, 2002, and then 2003.
Well, yeah, you got them all. Yeah, Papyrus is the king of the simulator.
Still
always
have every single one of them.
Yeah, I never got rid of any games that I ever bought. Always have the boxes and still have the CD-ROMs and all that stuff. And I guess the guys who make iRacing are actually coming out with a standalone NASCAR game.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, they've been working on it for a while. It's supposed to come out in 2025. And it's probably just taking the NASCAR portion out of iRacing, and they're creating a standalone NASCAR game. So I'm curious if it's going to be a subscription service. I kind of hope not.
Yeah,
I hope they just charge you the $60 and then we'll be right back to doing this again. And that's the thing too. The iRacing engine that runs the game itself is very versatile. Like I've got a 10-year-old computer and I can play it fine. But if you have a brand new machine, it looks like you're driving in a real race. Like the broadcasters that broadcast iRacing stuff, it looks like you're watching a televised race sometimes. The graphics are so cool. So it's a very it's a very cool engine where it allows older machines to run the game. And I'm excited to see when they release this thing if I can run it on this old machine, and if it's a one-time purchase,
I'll be buying it.
If it's a one-time purchase, I'll be buying it. If it's a membership thing, much like iRacing, I might try it out for a little while, a couple months, couple years, maybe. But it gets expensive.
Absolutely. The random qualifying shook things up a little bit. So Greg Lovell was started in the back of the first race. Now he's on pole. Alex Moe, who started on pole, is the last place car. Robert Breedlove, though, is right outside pole, so he's going to be right back up there near the front where he was, along with Ken Hunksbury, was pretty close to the front. Brian Lovell is going to be our first championship Kender car, starting in 6th. So he's starting up front like he did on the last race. So that's a bit of an advantage for him.
I love the lotto qualifying, and I love how they actually, like you said, this league, they alternate that.
Yeah.
Where one week they will actually qualify for real, and then the next week they throw the lotto.
I like the lotto in the sense I'm an old schooler. All right. Whoops, they just restarted practice there, but that's okay. I'm an old school guy. So back when I raced for real, You saw the videos that I sent you. Now, in that video I sent you, you saw I started 24th on the field. Well, that's because I was the points leader. The points leader started. I really wish that this game would do that so that you could do like a short track series. And so let's say hypothetically, you're you're the points leader. You're going to start, dead last every week because you're ahead in points. Back when I did it, you started, if you had won the previous race, you had started 18th or I think, somewhere in the back. You always started in that same spot. And then it would go by points to the front, and then there would be 6 cars behind you that were consi qualifying cars. So to me, it put on a better show because you had all your talent and your guys coming from the back to the front. And it made for a better show. Nowadays, they do a lot of this, whatever your finishing order has been. So you could go out and finish horribly for 3 weeks and you'd get the pole. You go out, you win the race because you've had 2 weeks of bad finishes and 1 good week. You still start on the pole. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm hoping that they maybe do with this standalone thing that they're doing with this new game. Maybe they'll have more control over those kind of scenarios. That would be really neat.
Yes.
Like what if this, what if that, boom, 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 all the way down the list, and you can turn things on and off. And collisions on pit road would be nice, but maybe make it an option. Do you want collisions on pit road or not? Just to give us the options to change these things and to design these scenarios. And that's really neat.
So the qualifying order changed a little bit because on the restart, but Greg Lovell still ended up with a pole. But now U-Man is on the outside pole. Our lead contender in the points is still Brian Lovell, but he's back in 10th instead of 6th. Graham McDonald's back in 14th. Let's see, who else is in the points there? Garland Oaks is starting pretty close to dead last. And where was our other contender? Where is Awesome?
24, yeah.
Brian Lovell. Oh, U-Man. Oh, it's U-Man. So U-Man's going to be our highest one this time. Yep, that's what I get it on. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah,
now we're back to where we're familiar. This is where we're going to see the 3-wide racing for sure.
Yeah, welcome to Prime Time Super Speedway, a version of Talladega in the dark.
This track is going to really change it up, different than what you saw before. We saw a lot of side-by-side racing. Yes, we saw some passing, but you didn't see a whole lot of that passing. But now you're going to see people go 3-wide. They'll be 3-wide. I mean, all the way around this track. This, to me, as far as a super speedway track goes, even though I'm not a big fan of it, I learned a lot from Jeff Elliott and a lot of these guys that you see out here that have helped me out immensely. And I actually gotten where I like it better. And this track right here is the track to do it on because it is so much more fun.
Brian Wolf was saying in the YouTube chat that he remembers back in the old days when the cars would never leave the ground. Because I think that NASCAR 2002, I don't think they left the ground. I think 2003, the one we're playing now, is where the cars actually would get airborne. The physics took the cars into the air.
2002 would do it. I think 4 they didn't.
Oh, okay. Remember somebody getting into the game files too and seeing that there was actually like fire and stuff like coded into the game, but they actually never used that code. So they were working on oil spills and flames and all kinds of stuff, but probably would have come out in NASCAR 2004 season. Anyway, green flag in the air, Brian Lovell and Ulysses Sandoval front row. Here we go.
Oh, now it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, there was a lot of more side by side. Now we already got people trying to get up there in that third groove. So, this track is going to open it up a little bit more for a little bit more passing. We'll see if U-Man can get out there and lead a lap. That would be the big thing. The low line with Greg Lovell seems to be going a little bit better. The outside line is just not getting together. Brian Lovell jumped to the third groove out there trying to see if he can make up some time, but he doesn't have any help, so he's going to actually drop back a little bit. Well, Denny Carroll's actually pulling up there. They might get the help he needs, but he's going to, mind you, we still haven't got up to full song, and he pulled out there. He's going to take a little while to get up to speed.
And that is the thing. Out of these 4 drivers, in the first race, none of them actually led a lap or got those bonus points. So if Ulysses can pull it off, he's up in the position right now that he could probably do it. He's sitting there about 6th. That would be a big deal because you get some bonus points, and the way that they track points here is so tight. That's a big, big deal.
The other thing, too, that we didn't pay attention to was there were points awarded to whoever gained the most. So we didn't pay attention at the first race. I know that U-Man and Garland and Brian all finished together, but some of those guys started further in the back. They may have gotten some points by being, the furthest or most lap positions gained, too.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm looking at the chart right now to see if there's actually a column for that.
We also have
2,
another
-1, -3. So yeah, I mean there is columns for all those stats, and they can control how that works. Greg Love leading this race.
We also have a driver that wasn't in the first race. I just know Javier Negron has come in for the second race.
He was in the first race.
Was he? I didn't notice it. Oh, okay, sorry, my bad.
Nope, he was there. We focused on him a couple times. Yeah. He was kind of floating around the middle of the pack. He won the championship last night. He actually won the truck championship. Not a contender here tonight, but that number 40, that Sundrop 40. Javier Negron did win last night's championship truck series here at Primetime Racing League. Yeah, congratulations to Javier. There was a lot of big names underneath that 40 on the chart, that's for sure.
I always love racing against Javier. I mean, he is a gentleman racer, good racer.
And fairly new. He's only been at it for a few years.
Yep.
Unlike some of us old guys have been doing it for 20 plus.
And some of us old guys have been doing it for 20 plus and still can't beat these young kids.
No. Yeah, I go into races not even expecting to win them.
I go for the fun.
Oh, it's a blast. I don't need to win. But yeah, it's a blast. Like the fact you could still log into this thing just makes me so happy because it was always such a great game. It was always there, and I went through a few different wheels and all the 4 gig patch to make it look even like all this high defness, and the guys are running resolutions now that make no sense. It's fantastic.
Uzi Man was making a run for it on the high side. He got a little bit blocked. I believe that was by Brian Breedlove. Sorry,
Ryan Creedlow.
Yeah, I need to take a sip here, but he got a little blocked and it slowed his momentum down a little bit. He almost had 4 wide there for a little bit.
Yeah, they're putting the run on Breedlove right now.
Yeah, Keith Bynum was running the high side trying to get a 4th line going, but when that all happened, U-Man had to lift. That kind of killed all the momentum for everybody behind him.
Yeah, the U-Man there, they just dropped down to that center line.
Trying his best to get something going on that high side, but they just can't get together.
Yeah, RJ Cabana slides up.
You watch the bottom line; they're running, really nose to tail. They don't see a lot of guys, pulling out. They're staying in a pretty good straight line, right tight to each other. And that outside line is kind of everybody's trying to gain position, and they're not working together like they should. If they just kind of settle down a little bit, work together, they can make that high side work.
Big checkup on the bottom line there. We saw Javier had to lift because he was getting a good run, but at the end of that straightaway, so he didn't want to get into Godfrey. Now, remember, we are running 3X, so we are going to be pitting early.
Yeah. The other thing, too, about this track, though, on the bottom with this setup, it's a little bit snug coming off of 2. Not so bad off of 3, but off of turn 2, you'll note that some of the guys, you got to do one of 2 things. You either got to lift a little bit or you got to really put a little bit more wheel into it, which scrubs off a little bit of speed and wears that right front tire, although tire wear is not a really big concern here.
Yeah, coming off turn 3 into the tri-oval, turn 4 into the tri-oval, is a little bit different because it's a little bit wider there. So if you do slide up a little tiny bit, it's not horrible. But yeah, it definitely will burn the tire. I mean, I find every lap to be a little different. Like if you're just off by a couple inches, it seems, it really does affect your exit.
And we
Car will
talked
slide
earlier.
more, or do that big wash up, and you're like, well, what's going on? Because I was looking in the wrong spot. I might have been looking up in my rearview mirror and missed my point, right? When your eyes go down the track and focus on that exit point, if you're looking in the rearview mirror and you miss that mark,
Now
you
that
can get a
outside
big wash.
ground, that outside line had been working together, and Heavy Underground is gaining on the outside. I just was going to say, I noticed that we talked about the first race about Randy Waugh being a fairly decent super speedway racer. He's right now currently running in second with the Roll Tide Dodge, Ford. Anyways, we were picking on him, trying to get him. I think he's been doing really good, so he maybe ought to go to a Ford.
Oh, breed loving the lawn. He's going to be able to hold on
Somebody's
to it.
out there mowing a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that was Robert.
Perry Bond.
What'd you call
Bond's
him?
got that.
Ryan Creedlow?
Perry
Robert
Bond's got
Breedlove?
that. Yeah, Perry Bond's got that third groove rock and rolling. He's got Rodney Sullins and Greg Palmer right behind him. They're all getting out there on that third groove and actually getting it done pretty good. Looks like Brian Roslin right behind him. I think it's Paglia behind them there. All of them.
Problem with that third groove, though, is we're flirting with lap 10 right now. These guys are going to need to get in position to pit. A couple more laps, they're going to be needing to pit. So if you need to pit and you're up there, it ain't happening.
And you got 3 cars, but now currently 4 in what we call the sucker hole.
Yep.
And the reason why we call it the sucker hole, it's actually a pretty quick way around the track. But when you only got 3 of you compared to 6 on one side and 8 on the other, you're not going to go by them.
Yeah,
you're going backwards.
It's just stagnant. That just stalls. Line just sits there.
But if you notice, especially any new viewers tonight, these guys are running 3 wide by 3 wide by 3 wide, and they're just constantly doing it lap after lap after lap. And that's what's like racing with these guys. It's intense, very, very intense, and it's amazing they get it done a lot of the times.
Always fun to watch. Cabana just slid up to that high line there, trying to get something going, it looks like. Focus back on the front pile here. A couple new cars. Rodney Sullins was in contact with me earlier today. He made a few new cars. Roberts being one of them. I think he made a brand new... Let me check the text message. I thought he had one for Kazi. Kazi's not here. Let me see.
Someone that we always talk about as
Kazi,
being one
the
of the
00, not in this race, but the 55, the
Kelly
22,
Kazi, yeah.
and the 38. Of course, the 38's here because that's Rodney. Yeah,
we always
Kazi's
talk
car's
about
close.
we always talk about Bob Dixon being one of the earlier pitters. Now we're just about to the point where they're going to pit.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Like, if you want to know when you're going to pit, Bob will usually peel off a lap or 2 early. But we're looking at him right now, and he's staying with this pack. Maybe on the shorter race with the higher pit frequency, maybe he's going to pit with the group.
We haven't had a caution yet, have we?
No, we have not. The pit window lap 12 right now. So the pit window's open now.
Yeah. And
so
Bob
I'm expecting
Dixon,
Bob to go anytime.
Anytime, yeah. And he's currently running 3rd, which is pretty good for, Bob loves these super speedway racing. He's pretty good at it. Doesn't always win, but there again, it's, this is the kind of a game where you've got to have friends.
I've seen his pit strategy work, though, man. He'll go in there 2-3 laps early, but then if you have a catastrophe happen with the pack trying to pit together.
I think partially that's the reason. That's the reason why he does it. But you also got to remember, he's not leading. He's not running it. He's probably lifting quite a bit, being especially on the bottom, so that it's not really time towards pitting. But he's always, you're pitting earlier like that. The advantage that you have from that is that you're not pitting with everybody else, as you said before. I've always tried to avoid that. If possible, try to pit with the least amount of people. You want to pit with some people, though. The reason being is you want to have that people that you can draft with to build up the speed. If you pit by yourself, sometimes when you come out, you don't get out as quick because you don't have the draft to get out and get up to speed as quick.
Seeing Bob would usually pit with Tom Dixon. Tom Dixon's not here tonight.
Unfortunately, Tom, he had just had some surgery on his hand. My buddy Tom out there, and he's healing real well, but he's not quite ready to grab a hold of a steering wheel.
I'll bet you if you asked him how he's doing, though, he'd say fine as frog hair.
Oh, yes.
Batman car not on the track tonight. But yeah, you'll always see the Dixons go down together.
Yeah, me and Tom have become pretty good friends. We've been playing. Oh, there we go. We got a wreck in the background.
That won't bring out a yellow, though.
Keith Bynum and Ken Huntsberry around.
I think this is where everybody's trying to get lined up to get down here to the pits.
Yep.
And then maybe just a little bit of a hook. We'll get on the pit entrance here, see if anybody's going to take it.
Tom and I have been playing a little white ball. That's something that the boys from Talladega Nights do, and it's a lot of fun. Nobody's pitted yet, so it must be around about 15 laps that they can go.
Yeah, we do have one pit stop done, and it is Robert Breedlove. He didn't get into the grass there, so he decided to pit a little bit early. A few laps ago, we saw him coming out of the pits, but he wasn't with anybody because he got into the front stretch lawn.
Currently, right now, though, the head guy in the chance for the championship is Graham McDonald. He's about there, about fifth spot, I believe.
McDonald is currently in fifth, yes.
Because I saw Brian Lovell, pull down. He's been trying to get back up there. U-Man's out on the outside trying to make up some time out there. We're going to see pit stops here relatively soon.
I'm curious if they're running 2X.
Might be.
If it's 2X, it's going to be lap 20 to 23 or so. You think we would know? I mean, the first race they ran 3X. I'm assuming that goes across the board for the whole race.
Well, we're not running the league, so it's possible that it's not.
I was going to run a replay on what happened to the crash back there with Huntsberry going around. But I don't know when these guys are going to pit. I don't want to miss the pitting.
So the fourth driver the fourth driver back that's in the hunt for the championship, Carlin Oates, he's currently running around about the 14th spot. He hasn't really made his way towards the front. Unfortunately, he started dead last in the field. So, but pit stops. If we get green flag pit stops, that can change the whole complexity of the thing. Because if people are going to go in, whoever gets that, I always talk about the delta time. The time it takes you to get off the track into the pits, and back out, the fastest you can do it, you're gonna gain time.
Yeah, it looks like Bynum and Huntsberry were involved in that. It looks like a little bit of a wash-up. He's coming off turn number 2 onto the back straightaway, and unfortunately got a little bit of a push off the turn there and just kind of slid up a lane. Yeah, it definitely looks like we're running a 2X on this one.
Robert Breedlove there, and I got it right this time. Of course,
Yeah.
just going down a lap. He was involved in a little bit of a spin there earlier. No
Looks like
caution
Bynum
came
almost
out.
slid up on the track there. His wheels may have come over that line. He might get a penalty for that.
Well, the way they exit here, it's pretty much before you get to the corner. So as long as he was at the corner, he'll be fine.
Halfway between 1 and 2, you mean?
Nope, not even halfway. You exit. You can exit onto the track before turn 1.
Okay.
But I think you'll see what the situation was where Keith was coming out of there. You don't want to pull a Kurt Shelbanine. I can't think of the guy's name. He was from Vermont up here. Now we're starting to get pits. He pulled out in front of them in a field and
Law,
wrecked a bunch
Carroll,
of them.
Dixon, Paglia, hot coming down. Bynum in there too. Focus here on Brian Rawson, Greg Palmer there as well. Running a brand new Rodney Sullins paint scheme.
Pretty much Greg
Palmer
Level.
running in 10th right there. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm just saying, Greg Level's pretty much led this whole month, the whole thing.
Yep. Randy Waugh has led a couple laps.
He's got 2 laps led. Yep. Now we got Greg Level. We got pretty
Here
much the
comes
whole field.
pack.
This is what we talked about. See, now this is why we wanted to avoid it. You saw U-Man get tagged there.
Might be all right. The yellow
He
didn't enter the track.
The only problem he may have is he hit that cone, and that could be a problem.
Right, that's the commitment line. That could be an issue. Looks like we got Garland Oaks. He is messed up there and into his pit stall under green. This is going to cost Garland a lot of time. He missed the pit box. He had to back up to straighten it up. Now under green, that's going to be a big loss on time, because he's going to need to get the full service to make it to the end of this thing.
Looking, let's see, Brian Rosler had probably pretty close to taking the lead, but he's pitting now with John Godfrey.
Focused on Palmer coming out right
Godfrey had the lead.
behind Sullins.
Trying to figure out who's going to come out with the lead after these round of pit stops all come through.
Yeah, currently Godfrey being credited for it, but he is on pit road, so he got some bonus points for leading laps. Not in the chase, but always nice to get those points. Watching Godfrey's pit here. Looks like a straight up fuel stop. No tires for the 711.
That's a good strategy at this track and on a green flag pit stop.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And a 29 lap race, you don't need tires.
Graham McDonald's currently, he is, well, went across the line. He is in 8th position.
I'm thinking
he is the lead car so far out of the 4 chasers.
Thinking this pack we're looking at right now being led by Randy Waugh is probably the lead pack, yeah. At the line, I believe it's going to be the 21.
I believe you are correct, because they got in and out. They got a nice little 5-car draft going on there. None of the guys that are in that are in the championship, so they're just fighting for the, trying to basically fight for the win. We got about around 8 laps to go. Probably now. Yeah, now we're 8 laps to go.
The leader is now the 21 of Randy Waugh, Corey's dad, leading this pack. The little 5-car pack. Reminder to everybody, too, the upcoming live broadcast here next Saturday. We start an hour earlier at 8 p.m. Eastern, the Prime Time Racing League All-Star Race. There is a link to that race in the description below. It's the first line. You'll see the first big link. That is going to be a long race. We're going to be running here at Prime Time Super Speedway, and it's going to be 85 lap race.
It's a long race for this.
So they bumped her up another couple percentiles.
Yeah, I think the longest they've ever run was, 67 or 57 or something like that?
Usually it's 47 or 66. So they bumped her up another couple of ticks to get to the 85 lap All-Star race. And anybody who wins a race, wins a series, qualifies to be in the All-Star race. Now, so everyone we see next Saturday would have won either a race or a series championship in this league.
Now, I wonder if they're going to have an open. You know what I mean? Like the All-Star has an open of the non-winners. We haven't heard anything about that. We'll have to get a chance to talk to Graham to see if that's what they're planning on doing. Maybe having a little open show race.
Yeah, even if they had a little, like a shorter one, like not maybe a sprint, but maybe like a little 20-lapper or something.
Yeah.
10-lap sprints fun too.
Yeah, they are. Those mega marathon races, those sprint races, they're tedious, they're hectic, but they're fun.
So I got the interval up there, that black box on the right, on the top left of your screen. That is the distance from the leader, Randy Waugh. So last time by the line, the 60 of Perry Bond, they were 5.17 seconds. So let's see, we've got, Ken Roberts just reappeared out of thin air.
The magician.
Still in the draft, though, so that's awesome. So let's look at this line of cars here. So we've got this pack. If they can stay
a little more tighter than
they're going to catch them way faster than these guys will be able to get away. So
you got 5 cars up back till you get to Greg Palmer, and they've been running pretty tight. The guys behind them, they just started doing it now. You got to get themselves a little tighter. Greg Lovell is just pushing the back of Perry Bond. I mean, you can see that they've gained a little bit of distance on Doug Doak because Greg's just pushing.
It went from
That's what they need to do.
Yep, it went from 5.1 seconds, and it went down to 4.7 seconds. So they are gaining. If this pack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 or 9 cars there, they need to stay in line. They can't start doing too wide stuff if they want to catch these guys up front. They only got about 5 or less than 5 laps to do it.
Now, currently, our championship contenders, Graham McDonald's still back there. He's in 11th position. U-Man is back behind him in 13th. I'm trying to find...
Garland Oaks is in 17th, and the 44 of Brian Lovell is being shown in 19th as well. So they're
just about to go a lap down.
Yeah. So Graham...
He had a bad pit stop.
In 11th is the highest of the championship contenders. Like we said, that's the points coming into this race. Graham needs to finish in front of these guys. He needs to really... To catch Brian, though, I mean, he might need to put some more space. And that's the problem. If they run close together...
There's about 4 laps to go. That's a big shakeup. Really big shakeup.
Yeah, and I don't believe that this pack is going to catch the lead pack in 4 laps. They knocked off another about 30. Yeah, what is it now? It's down to 4.1. But that's the thing. That lead pack...
Brian's caught up with that. He's kind of tagged the back of that lead pack.
Yeah.
It's going to make him faster for sure, but it doesn't do him any good unless a caution came. And if it does now, I don't believe we're going back green. So
no, but it helps the lead pack because the lead pack now is 5 or 6 cars strong, and they're not racing each other either. They're staying in a line as well, which makes it tougher for that longer pack back here to gain on them.
Now the big thing of it is you got to think about it like this. Brian Lovell was out front most of the, in the first race doing really, really good. Graham McDonald and U-Man and Garland had a few little, they weren't right up there. They finished just behind Brian. So you got to think if Graham, I'm trying to remember who, I think U-Man was the better finisher out of the others other than Brian. So the points probably are going to be really, really close between Graham McDonald and U-Man.
Yeah, white flag in the air. Randy Waugh leading the field to the final lap. Now, are they going to run? Are they going to try to race each other up? It looks like they do want to pop out. They're looking for it. Bob Dixon is looking down the right side of that 21. If somebody wants to go with him, he backed out of it. Mo's going for it. Ken Roberts going to give him a little push. I think Bob might sneak out there now. He did.
I'm kind of focusing on Graham McDonald back here, and the group back here is kind of switched up a little bit. Perry Bond got overtaken. That has put 2 cars in between Graham McDonald and Ulysses. So that's probably going to help Graham a little bit more. Huge push
by Alex Moe to shoot Bob Dixon to the lead. Bob Dixon will take the checkered flag.
That's awesome.
Here at Primetime Super Speedway. What a move at the last second there. Going into turn 3, he decided to pop out onto that high line, and they shot Bob right by everybody.
That is cool.
That is very cool.
Very cool.
I
like to see Randy win. He's my teammate, especially for when we do that stuff. But Bob Dixon's is going to be a popular win.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. Last second move there. Popped out to that high line. Everybody giving Bob a push. Don't scratch the car. It's brand new.
Let's see if we can get Bob up here and have a chat with him about that.
Yeah, definitely.
I tell you what, me and
Bob Dixon, Rod Weston, Blaine Donnelly up in the booth, buddy, getting it done.
Yeah, man. Nice to see that 43 car up there, huh?
That's awesome, buddy.
Man.
That was a good job.
Good timing on that move, man. Right into turn 3, and you got the perfect timing on that push, and it shot you like a catapult to the front of that thing
That's
coming
right.
through the trial.
That's right. That was the plan. I was in it to win it.
Very cool.
What so like what's with the pit strategy? Like we were waiting for you to go like super early, but it didn't really happen. You went a lap or two, but
I'd have gotten freight train.
yeah, no, it was a good call.
Yeah, because normally you pit by yourself, and then and whatnot, and it's easier to get in and out of the pit, and then you kind of had to pit with the guys around you to this time, and it actually worked in your favor.
Yep, I tell you what. Kudos to Randy Waugh and Denny Carroll, because Randy and me and Denny all went in with 2.5 laps to go. We all came out together, and that's what clinched the first, second, third.
Well, that's pretty cool. Lane, you got any more? Who got second out of that? I know.
I'm just loading it up here now. Actually, I was trying to find the.
You know that
while you're interviewing Bob there, I was getting the end screen ready.
I'm just glad to see Bob in
stats.
the winner's circle. That to me is pretty cool.
I love moves like that, man. Last second moves on the final lap. It just seems, because it looked like to me, Bob, like you were coming down that back straightaway and you were looking down the right side of the 21 like you wanted to go, but nobody wanted to go with you, so you tucked her back in there.
Yep. I had just enough room. I was counting on Denny. I thought Denny would go with me. If he did, I knew I had it cinched, but he didn't show me the sign. So once that outside line got close, I just moved on over at the right timing, and voila, you won.
Yeah, you won. You got to give John St. John some props on that one, the voice of the crew chief.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys covering this tonight.
Yeah, well, if you want to thank somebody, go ahead. I'm going to run up. Remember who finished second here. I got to figure that out.
Thank you, and Blaine, Tarnation TV. We appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Always fun covering these races for you guys, and this race was another fun one. Another one for the books, and of course the replay file. I got a few of them, so we can make some highlight reels, man. But yeah, congratulations on your win, Bob.
Thank you. It's nice to see that pretty 43 up there.
Yep, it is.
Man, that's a nice looking car.
And everybody starts
keep driving it.
Everybody starts giving you the thank you bumps at the end, and I'm on the broadcast going, "Don't do that. The car's in mint condition.
Yeah.
And scratch the paint."
Yeah.
All right, Bob. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bob.
Appreciate you guys. Merry Christmas to you.
Congrats. Merry Christmas. Thanks, buddy.
Alex Moe finished second tonight. You took the pole in the first race. We saw you kind of pull to the back. I figured you were just trying to get out of the hecticness of it. And then the second race, you managed to come up and finish second.
Hey guys, yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. First race, I just wanted to stay out of trouble, and that didn't help me at all because
Got in it.
I had a computer issue on that big wreck that happened, and that's never happened to my computer before. I don't know what happened, but I want to apologize to the 97 because I reappeared right in front of his car, or right inside of his car. I was trying to pull it left as quick as I could to get off track in case I reappeared, and everyone reappeared right when I was just about hitting the yellow line. So sorry about that, Pat McCarsky. And then second race here, just normal strategy, and kept good track position and pushed Bob to a win at the end. I wasn't going to pass him. That was Bob all the way there, so good win, Bob.
That was awesome. I was glad to see Bob get it, but you always run. Every time I've raced with you, you've always run pretty strong, especially when you get to like Michigan, California. You're really good there. And your super speedway program has always been really good. So it's glad to see you have a good run in that second one.
Appreciate that, Rod, and happy belated birthday. Blaine said it was your birthday yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do the broadcast yesterday, because I probably wouldn't have been any good doing it. So
Hey, birthday shenanigans, I hear you.
we had fun. Well, we're going to see if we can get the third place guy down. Anybody you want to thank for tonight's adventure?
He should
How about
thank.
it?
He should thank the front bumper, man. He pushed Bob. Something like those guys behind Bob were pushing like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I was just waiting for Bob to come up. I knew Ken wanted to do something, but we were just biding our time. I wasn't going to help the 41, Denny, in front of me. I wasn't going to help him at all. So luckily we got to the outside of him, and Bob came up, and he got the win because of it. But I'd just like to thank you guys again. Yesterday it was Brian in here. Tonight it's Rod. Thanks to both of you for broadcasting the PRL races this weekend. Thanks to Graham and Ken and everyone who puts PRL on. The NR community, all the guys that still show up and race, whether it's the weekends or the weekdays. And just shout out to everyone. Hope everyone has a good, safe weekend and Christmas this week.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Have a Merry Christmas, man. And yeah,
Did
2
they
nights in a
celebrate
row, you're just invading this broadcast. You're all over this thing last night, and here you are again today, man. So a great couple days for you.
Yeah, not in the first race tonight, but the second race and last night went pretty good. Did they celebrate Christmas up there, all the Canucks?
Oh yeah, bud. We get her done right.
Christmas, eh?
Oh yeah, we get it done nice.
Yeah, bud. We get her done.
I've been meaning to say this for a while, Blaine, but I always forget. I love some of your South Park references that you put in the broadcast. Like, other guys might not get them, but every one of your South Park references I get. I love that show.
I figured
And I love Canadians. Everyone loves Canadians.
Yeah, we drop them in there, and if people get them, they get it. If not, oh well. But yeah, man, thanks. That's yeah, I put them in there. There's little nuggets all over the place. I'm sure if I go back and listen to these broadcasts later, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, there's so many hidden things, you know.
I love them. I pick up on them. But hey, happy holidays, guys. Thanks.
Awesome.
Congrats, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Got to bring him back again tonight to our third place finisher, Ken Roberts. You had a really good night tonight, bud, when it finishes.
Yeah, I'm gonna credit all that to the Roddy Solis paint job.
It's got to be it. It's that live wire, dude.
Yeah, it's good. Good race. Good race with them guys. It's good to see old Bobby Dixon pull one out.
Absolutely. Good.
Oh, especially like that. It was such perfect timing. And it was funny because we were talking about Bob usually pitting early, and he didn't. And he wins the race. I've seen him win races before, but it just tonight with the shortened, you know, the 2 quick races that we got to cover, and it's like, you know, I got some different strategies going on.
Yeah, when I jumped out and Alex jumped out, I was hoping Alex would stay with him because that would put us, you know, 3-on-2, and you know, we could push him across. So yeah, it's good to see that. That's pretty cool. I don't know how old Bob is. Actually, I know he's in his 70s. I hope I can drive like that when I'm 70.
Me too. All right. Well, I just wanted to bring you down and, you know, congratulate you. You can go ahead and thank your sponsors again.
And the brand new car too, right?
Yeah, brand new car. Thanks to Rodney Solins. Known Rodney 20 plus years. The only guy that's ever done my cars for me. So I appreciate all that he's done for me. But
he sent me a screenshot earlier today of the new cars, and I was like, oh, neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got the sneak preview.
So yeah, it was he got them in, you know, got them loaded up tonight, so we all run them. But yeah, thanks to Rodney, you know, and Palmer and Kelly Causey, who's out guarding his deer, my teammates, and congrats to Bob on his victory tonight. And I believe Ulysses won the championship by 1 point, so that's pretty awesome too. To see the young guy win one. He's a tough competitor. I love racing with him. You know, he's aggressive, and he's fun to race with. So congrats to Ulysses on his win, on his championship.
Well, I brought Graham McDonald down here so we can get the official, because we don't know that, but hopefully that's the case.
Oh,
so,
sorry.
That's okay. No, it's all right. That's perfectly fine. I mean, we don't know until Graham tells us what's going on. So, Graham, you can tell us what's going on. Ken, congratulations tonight. Good racing tonight. I mean, you had a great night, and I'm hopefully get to race with you here again soon.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, Ken. Thanks, buddy. Have a good Christmas.
Yeah, you too. Merry Christmas, you guys.
Yeah, Graham and I were behind the scenes working on the points charts, and he sent it to me. So,
it didn't update.
Oh, it didn't?
Well, I brought you down here because I figured we would ask you, who ended up with the championship.
Yeah. It was Ulysses Sandoval. He got first. I got second. Carlin Oakes got third, and Brian Lovell got fourth.
Oh, okay. So the file you sent me wasn't. Okay, 1 second.
No, for some reason when it did the export, it didn't update. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because I'm showing Brian leading that chart that you sent me, but yeah, I just realized it.
That's the same as the first one.
It is exactly the same. I didn't even look at it. It is exactly the same. So that chart is completely wrong. We'll just delete that. Boom.
So we've got the update. We put a headset on the guy. He is covered with frickin' champagne. The smile on his face. I mean, it's you can't believe it. You got the championship.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and we totally advertised it wrong on the screen there because I didn't even realize that the chart was the exact same chart. So yeah, we're going to change it up right now. Ulysses Sandoval, champion of the Saturday night Shootout series here at Primetime Racing League. Ulysses, take it away.
Oh man, I got a little worried when you placed the standings over there and it says that it was like third in the standings. Was that an error? Wasn't that the updated point standing?
Yeah, it didn't generate properly, Graham was saying, yeah.
So, is this your first championship?
Yeah, my very first championship.
That is awesome.
Just like we said, the third time is the third attempt is the charm. The third try is the charm. Remember, I went my first time the Chicken Bake Series, made the Final Four and didn't work out. Then Friday night last season, Final Four didn't work out, and then I said the turn is the charm, and it indeed was it.
Now how many years have you been doing this? I know you don't have like the years in this game that I do. So how many years have you been racing?
Well, I discovered the game in 2018, but I was I didn't even know that there were still people playing the game. So I just played offline with the computer opponents with the keyboard. And it wasn't until I found a Facebook post about Jeffrey that he posted that he is opening the new season for Talladega Nights, and then I joined. That was on 2023, last year actually.
I put you on Whisper, Blaine.
I've been racing
I sent you the update it once, it finally worked.
1 year and some months.
Yep, got it, Graham, thanks.
See, that's what I consider to be the cool part of it is here, myself, I've been playing this game for probably over 30 years. Probably about 20 years in the online part of it. We used to do LAN parties, so it was similar, but yet quite a bit different. Once you get in the online part of it, you get to have a lot more people to contend with. And so being that you've only actually done this for just pretty much over a year, that's pretty darn cool. That's impressive. You've done well. You've always raced good, raced hard, raced clean. So congratulations on the championship, buddy.
Thank you so much. Going into this championship, it has been a big trip because I've been moving from league to league, learning from different drivers on how to race, and I think I made friends with the right people. They taught me a lot on how to drive around in Talladega, not only Talladega, but in different types of track that I didn't even know that I could race on.
Yeah, well, the thing of it is too that like you said, you started out at Talladega Nights. Talladega Nights ended up closing its doors, and then basically kind of confirmed over to Primetime Racing League, and they've done a great job of keeping things going. But and we lost some drivers, we gained some drivers, and stuff like that with all this stuff changing around. So yeah, I see what you mean by where you were in one other, but it's just, I said, it's a show of how strong you are, how good you drive, how respectful you are on the track. I mean, like I said, I've raced with you quite a bit, and if there's a guy that I want to push or have behind me, you are definitely that man. So I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, man. I have a similar story too about how I played the game, bought a brand new was on the Sierra service and all this stuff. And then I never really raced in an online league. I used to do the same thing. I used to race against the AI opponents. And then I got out of the game for a couple of years. And then for some reason, I was on YouTube one day and I saw a broadcast. I'm like, that looks like my favoriteest game of all time. Like, is that NASCAR 2003 season? And sure enough, it was NASCAR Racing 2003 season. And that's when I started looking up. I'm like, man, these guys are still playing this thing? So then I ended up falling back into it again. I ended up taking a few years off and had no idea. I just figured the game faded away, and then joined up with some leagues and started racing again, and had no idea it was as big as it still was. It feels now like it's bigger than it ever was. And the fact that we're getting guys like you that have just joined in the last, few years and haven't been at it for 20 years plus. And we're all able to race together and just elevate this thing.
No, yeah, the broadcast definitely make this more interesting. It gives the races the magic they have, because with the races you not only you have the chance to rewatch the moments where you were racing, but also you have an audience, you have a booth. It makes it feel more important, and yeah, that's something that has kept me racing here.
Well, not only that too, though, you can sit the wife down in front of the computer and say, honey, watch, this is what I'm doing. I'm not just goofing off on the computer. I'm racing. I'm winning. I'm the champion,
Oh yeah, I show this to my mom that, look, I'm in a competition with 40 drivers.
Yeah.
And sometimes she questions me why I'm doing this. Like, I'm too old for this. I mean,
never.
Yeah.
Look who won the race. Bob Dixon won the race. This guy, he's been playing all these games forever. I'm pretty sure Bob's in his 70s. Anybody says you're too old to do this, it's not. We literally have, is Zach Roberts is like 18 years old. And then we've got Bob in the 70s and everybody in between. And we can all get on here and we can all play this thing and hang out for a few hours. Every night there's a race somewhere. And it's fantastic, And at the end of the day, stuff happens during the race, and it's frustrating because we pour so many hours into it. And if you get wrecked out, it's not the most fun thing. But next week, we all come back and have fun, do it all over again, and have been for years. You're never too old to get online with a bunch of buddies and do what you love doing, even if you are holding on to a plastic steering wheel.
That's the magic of this game. You think you're gonna give up, but then you have a bad day. You think you're gonna give up, but then you rethink again. I'm gonna do it better next time.
Well, we were talking during the broadcast too about how the guys who made NASCAR, like Papyrus, moved on to make iRacing. Well, iRacing is now making a standalone NASCAR game, so it's gonna play just like this one. Because if you've ever played NASCAR inside iRacing, it feels just like this game. There's nothing, because all that simulator technology that they have in iRacing came from this. So now that they're making a standalone NASCAR game, I'm hoping they just charge a one-time fee and it's not a subscription fee like iRacing. I don't know what they're going to do, but if it's like $60, I'm going to buy that thing. And with all the new technology and all the new options you could have, I don't know if it would ever get rid of NASCAR Racing 2003, but I kind of hope that if it does, it just makes it easier to get it up and running. And I don't know, it could be really cool. I was really excited to hear that they were going to make a standalone NASCAR game, and I hope it's not subscription based. Everything seems to be subscription based. I don't think this game will ever go anywhere though, because it is so wide open with all the modding and stuff. I don't think anything they make now would ever compete with the amount of things that you can pull off with this, with trucks and car mods and sound packs and new crew chiefs and all that. I don't think that'll ever be possible again. I think this thing's kind of like a diamond in the rough, kind of like a perfect storm.
Well, I hope that the new game isn't splitting the community, but I'm really looking forward for it because they're saying it drives just like an R2003, and it has a lot to offer. And also, I would like to meet. I'm looking forward for people that play NASCAR nowadays. The recent games of NASCAR and also iRacing, to meet new people, race with new people.
Yeah.
I definitely looking forward to that game. But also, it's too difficult to say I'm gonna abandon these games because I'm really into it. I mean, this year alone, at least from summer, I was racing literally the whole week, 24/7. I mean, race every night. I go to a different league, SMO, Prime Time, Talladega Nights, and LCRA, and HSL, or RTG racing every week, learning a lot of from their drivers. It is fun to meet new people.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't believe this thing will ever disappear completely. I would never be able to get rid of it because I've played it for so long. But yeah, I'm interested to see what this new thing that's coming out, if it's going to be, like what it's going to be, how they're going to charge people for it. That's a big thing, what they're going to charge for, because at the end of the day, this is free and it always will be. But yeah, man, look, I was going to say the same thing. I tune into like an RTG broadcast, and there's the 96, out there racing with those guys. And yeah, you're everywhere. You need to take a day off.
Well, you know how you get better at racing. It's just turning laps. It does not matter when you get out. The more you can get behind the wheel, the more you're going to learn. The better you're going to get. And that's the thing. When you got the time to do it. I'm with you. I used to do that. I've raced 6 nights a week and twice on Thursdays, and it was just. And you get burned out too sometimes, but you got to do it to be better than everybody else.
Oh yeah, I'm too addicted to being better and better and better. That's something that's something that I have with my siblings. Every time they're playing a video game, we even played chess once. My brother was the best playing. My brother was the best playing chess, and then me and my other brother find that out. So we now practice to be better than him, and so every time we have play a game, we make sure we're better than each other.
That's cool though, man. That's healthy competition, like competitive.
Very competitive.
Yeah, I mean, and a game like a game like chess, that thing's insane. It's been around for thousands of years for a reason. That's the thing with the NASCAR too. Don't let your brothers know about this NASCAR thing, because then we're going to have a Sandoval war out there, trying to be better than each other. Or maybe they join Team Wrecking Ball and you guys are unstoppable. That could work too.
Yep.
Maybe, but we're not good at working each other. We're better at working against each other.
There you go. Then you'll just have each new Sandoval has to get his own team started.
There you go.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so now we're gonna open the floor to you to thank all that people, and I want to be the guy that says, "Champ, the floor is yours."
Oh man, it's nice to win a championship, not only in the mod that I started with, but also the type of series. I started a series at Talladega, and also with Blaine Dunlop, the guy who was there with me since day one. I mean, he was around the days I debuted. He actually streamed the race I won for the first time. Blaine was there when I won my first race, and now you're here when I won my first championship.
That's
Feels
true.
great to have you here.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, let's wrap this out. A big shout out to Team Wrecking Ball. My teammates Carla Noakes, Javier Negron, they never abandoned me. They've been with me since the good old days at Talladega Nights. Of course, I have more teammates, but they since Talladega Nights closed, they have taken their time out of the game or maybe in other leagues. just like Josh. And talking about Josh, he's in an NCRA, and so a big shout out to an NCR, my buddies from an NCRA, because when Talladega Nights closed, I found a new home there with them because they are my age. So we made friends very quickly with them. Big shout out to all of them. Seth Cole, Michael Norman, not Jessica, and all of those guys. Thank you very much. And also Mama Sandoval, she's very supportive with me. So yeah, this should be everything.
That's it, man. Yeah, congratulations again on the championship win, dude. It's I'm sure it's the first of many. I could see, if you could beat some of these guys on this list, well, all these guys on this list have all won championships probably. And, it's not easy to win against these guys. So that, yeah, man, like I said, congratulations again. And thanks for joining us up here in the booth.
Oh, thanks to you, Blaine. Thanks for broadcasting these races. You was the reason most of us are there watching NR 2003 and having a reason to race a broadcasted race, to get in the booth and talk about our family, give them a shout out. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's always fun watching you guys do what you do, man. Yeah, have a good and safe holiday season, dude. We'll definitely see you again shortly.
Yeah, what a good way to close the year. But this is not over. I'm looking forward to the other leagues, the other series. We'll see what happens next year.
Right on, buddy. Well, thanks again. Congratulations again. Have yourself a good night.
Congratulations, everybody.
Good night. Happy holidays.
Ulysses Sandoval. There he goes, man. That dude's awesome. He's
right,
too.
awesome.
I totally forgot. I remember when Jeff texted me because he was recruiting guys for Talladega Nights because he was starting a league, and he put the feelers out. He's grabbing all these people, and he's like, "Yeah, I found this new guy." I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool." And then it was neat to watch Ulysses grow. And like his first win, he could barely even speak on the broadcast when he was getting interviewed because he was so excited. And again, to beat these guys, like everybody on that list you see in front of you, these people are amazing. So yeah, good on him. He's gotten really good real fast.
I can remember, when I first started doing the televised racing, which, I wasn't doing it on this side with you like I am now, but, I was doing racing and, I was part of it. And my first top three, I finally got an interview and I was like, well, that's awesome. My first win, that's great. Now, unfortunately, I hadn't got a championship in a while. So, I don't have that to brag about, like U-Man does, but he did a great job tonight. And we sat there shaking our head who's going to win it. We thought Brian Lovell had it pretty much sold up on the first one, which he did. And unfortunately, in the second race, he didn't do as well, and just struggled. I didn't know who. You guys are dealing with the points. I was dealing with the broadcasting.
And I put it up on the broadcast, thinking because Graham sent me the file, and I just have this copy and paste technique that overwrites all the information. I'm like, okay, cool. Brian won the championship, and I plugged it in, and then I checked my messages again. I didn't even look at it. I just typed it all in there. He's like, yeah, no, it didn't. It's not generating. Give me a second. I'm like, oh, I'm displaying Brian Lovell as the winner right now, and I had no idea that Graham was trying to tell me not to post it, but he got it to update, and yeah, it put Ulysses in front literally by 1 point. 3,054. Graham McDonald 53. Oaks 51. Brian Lovell 49. So it's that close for that championship. And, that's the thing.
In my opinion of it, either one of them guys were deserving of a championship. I would have loved to have seen. Granted, I spoke it earlier. I would really like to see that Graham had taken it. But, other than that, just any one of them guys have been deserving. They're all great drivers. They run clean. They run, to the front, and it's a super speedway series. So, that's another thing too. It's not for me, but it is for these guys. They're just phenomenal at it.
See, and I wonder what the tiebreaker would have been, because I'm looking at that too. And let me see. Garland Oaks is in third position there on that list on the right with 3,051 points. Now he's got 3 wins. Brian's got one win. Ulysses and Graham didn't win a race. If it would have come down to a tiebreaker situation, I think they would have gone to the win column. So yeah, I mean, you have to have those, and like, you know, okay, well, what if there's a tie? Okay, we go to wins. Okay, what if it's still tied and wins? Well, then we go to like top tens. Like, you have to start working your way down. Laps ahead, like, it goes down the list until you find a winner.
In that case, we'd have been here a little bit longer waiting for the results.
Yeah, like, then what do? You know, you have to find it on that chart somewhere. And there's lots of, like, they do track a lot of stats. You know, wins, top fives, top tens, poles, laps led.
They keep track of everything.
Of the laps completed. Graham's the only one to complete 100% of all the laps, 589 laps run.
Wow.
Brian Lovell's got 587 laps run, 99% completion on laps. Laps led.
The 100% of laps completed, though, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good stat.
Yep, Graham McDonald, 100% of all laps completed in the series, 589 laps, and he raced every one of them. So he finished every race on the lead lap.
So next week it's going to be the All-Star race. We got to get with Graham to find out, though, for sure, because it'd be, to me, my opinion, not just an All-Star race. And granted, we know it's going to be a little bit longer race, but it would be neat to televise an open race. Just me. That's the way NASCAR does it, you know. I think that would be kind of cool to do.
With the 85 lap race, that they might not do that because that'll be a long night. But I'll get with Graham and actually get a list of drivers that are going to be in that race. So maybe I'll make a little short YouTube video and post it up.
I still think that it should be, you know, a pre just my opinion, mind you, you know, and I need to know if that's the case because, you know, I do work on a race car on Saturdays and I got to be here on time.
Yep. Yeah, it starts at 8 o'clock, so we're an hour earlier start on that one.
Yeah. Well, I'll be here. You know, we love doing this broadcasting thing. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it with you, and especially, you know, with these guys and the talent they have in these super speedways. To me, it's just it's amazing. I mean, I've raced out there, and there's no shortage, in my opinion, of how much I really hate super speedway racing. But that's why I like being here, because I'm not out there doing it.
It's like, I hate driving in super speedways, but I like to call them, so sit in a booth instead. So
absolutely. Now, if it was Martinsville, man, I'd be on that track every time. You know, I'm sorry, Blaine. Yeah, yep. I know, but I got to be on that track.
Yeah, if you got to do it, just let me know. I'll call Brian Wolf. I'll call Jeffrey Elliott. I'll call Josh too. I'll call Andrew Miller. I'll call somebody.
Now, I'd rather be up in the booth for these super speedway races every time. It's just, to me, it's amazing what these guys do. I mean, I don't have that kind of talent. I've gotten better at it thanks to Jeff Elliott, the whole other clan, the Talladega Nights, and then it switched over to Prime Time, and all these guys. If anybody out there really wants to come and race with these guys, and it looks intimidating, and it is, to me, is very intimidating, but they will help you. They get you situated. They make it so that you race better. And you saw that there were very few incidents tonight. When they did happen, usually it was just a bad bump, and that happens. And other than that, I mean, side by side, 3 wide racing, it's so cool.
Yeah, a lot of great racing, a lot of great people involved in it. Community's fantastic, and we're able to stream these things live. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you for watching Tarnation TV's coverage these last couple nights of the 2 finales and the 2 different series here at the Primetime Racing League. Thanks a lot, of course, to Keith Bynum and Graham McDonald and all the administration staff over there. They've got a full crew of behind the scenes working on stuff. And thanks, Graham, for hiring Tarnation to do this. Thank you, Rod Weston, for helping me call the race this evening. Thank you, Brian Wolf, for helping me call the race last night. And we'll see you guys back here on Saturday for the All-Star race. And look to the channel. I'll get the list of drivers from Graham once it's all official. And we'll run down the list of who qualifies to be in that race. And I'm guessing it's going to be a doozy, and there's going to be a lot of great races still to come. So, like I said, thanks again for watching the channel. Lots of subscribers. It's pretty cool, the percentages. And a couple hundred subscribers, but get a lot of views. So the people that are on this thing, they actually watch this stuff. So it's not just a bunch of random bots subscribing to the channel. It's real people that like what we do. So Thanks again. Have yourself a good holiday season. Whatever you celebrate, do it right. Thanks, Rod, again. And of course, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.